Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. In this video, I want to talk about this documentary titled Queen Camilla, the Wicked Stepmother that will be released on Sunday, November 24th. I'll go through a couple of articles. The articles demonstrate that there are conversations about things that Harry said negatively about Queen Camilla, and I also want to expand on that in terms of what are the negative things that Harry felt towards Camilla, and what are things that Meghan may have done to use this to her advantage, and how that factors into a romantic relationship that someone may have with a narcissist. In terms of estrangement and isolation. So it's my assumption, and I believe that, Meghan Markle is a narcissist, a malignant narcissist, and this is all allegedly and in my opinion. I also want to mention I'm not a therapist, so I am just speaking on experience that I've had throughout my life, being around narcissists and then getting married to one and divorcing one. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to do was to confirm that this documentary is biased in terms of approaching Queen Camilla from a negative angle, because it could be a sarcastic title, but what I was able to find out is that it's not a sarcastic title. There was this article that was released in September, and it's titled New Documentary Set to Expose Queen Camilla as Prince Harry's Wicked Stepmother, and it says Harry once begged King Charles not to marry Queen Camilla. Channel 4 is reportedly preparing to air a controversial documentary reportedly titled, they use reportedly twice, who writes these things? Titled Camilla, Harry's Wicked Stepmother. The title seems to have changed, which is expected to cast Queen Camilla in a negative light. The documentary will explore her relationship with Prince Harry, portraying her as the wicked stepmother figure in his life. In a more recent article, they go into a little bit more detail about this. The article is titled Royal Family Recap, Prince Harry Has to Move On After Divisive Claims, and this was just published just a couple of days ago. In Spare, Harry mentioned Camilla several times and accused her of being dangerous and leaking negative stories to the press, allegedly sacrificing him on her personal PR altar. He also pondered whether she would have become his and William's wicked stepmother before her marriage to Charles. Harry wrote, I recall wondering right before the tea if she'd be mean to me, if she'd be all the wicked stepmothers in the storybooks, but she wasn't. The Queen was reportedly left hurt by the claims, while the King was said to be furious with his son. And I want you all to remember that part, the King being furious with his son, because these are relationship dynamics that Meghan exploits to create problems. The article continues, now Camilla's longtime friend Petronella Wyatt hit back at Harry in a Channel 4 documentary, Queen Camilla, the Wicked Stepmother, saying, I'm not sure Harry realized how incendiary Spare was. The whole country seemed to be taking sides. Harry and Camilla's positions within the royal family have virtually reversed. Camilla used to be the hated outcast, now it's Harry, and Camilla's seen with affection. He has to move on from casting Camilla as the Wicked Stepmother. The article we just read is recommending that Harry move on. This article here is now saying that it backfired when he tried to paint Camilla as a wicked stepmother. So let's read a little bit from this article as well. He has to move on from casting Camilla as the wicked stepmother. The documentary on November 24 discusses the suggestion that Camilla and Charles leaked stories to help improve her image. US-based Harry made the claims in his autobiography Spare and in interviews to promote it. And Jenny Bond, BBC royal correspondent from 1989 to 2003, also left off the idea. She said, I wrote to Camilla once and she wrote back a lovely letter, but she said, I'm so sorry, but I have no interest in cultivating a special relationship with any particular journalist. Now, I want to say that's all great and nice and dandy that Camilla or Queen Camilla wrote that to Jenny Bond, but just because she denied Jenny Bond doesn't mean she denied anybody else. And I also want to mention this is from 1989 to 2003, right? That's when she was the royal correspondent. So what happened beyond 2003? Am I right? Yeah. Anyways, okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the things that Harry has said about his stepmother and how there are ways that Meghan could have used all of this to her advantage. The allegations that Harry made towards Camilla involve him saying that Camilla traded unfavorable stories about him and Meghan with the media to bolster Camilla's own public image following her controversial marriage to King Charles. Meaning Harry, he referred to her as dangerous, suggesting that her need for public approval comes at the cost of other people in the family, which is a little bit hypocritical coming from Harry, who threw his whole family under the bus for his own public image. It's interesting to say that people usually accuse others of the same thing that they are actually doing themselves. I'll give you all an example. I used to work with this wonderful, wonderful lady, and she ended up having her position terminated, and she was accused of misspending funds. So my friend was not involved in the misspending of funds. It was someone else, and she ended up being grouped with this other person who was involved and ended up having her position terminated. Well, I found out just about a month or two ago, this same person who spearheaded the termination of my friend was terminated herself for that reason. So I feel that sometimes when people accuse someone else of something else, it's because I think they may feel like what they're doing is wrong, so they try to look and seek that out in other people and accuse other people of doing it in order to not have the mirror pointing towards them, if you know what I mean. If this makes sense to you, or if you know of any stories or anything that are similar to this, please leave them in the comments. So then there's this whole thing of Harry describing Queen Camilla as a wicked stepmother. I don't think there's any evidence that we've ever seen or heard of this. And even, I believe Harry himself, I don't think he's ever described her as a wicked stepmother the way I would describe mine. In terms of Camilla being a stepmother, I mean, I'm not inside the home. I don't know how it is, but she's probably a breeze compared to mine. But then what do I know? You don't know the inner dynamics of like what happens indoors. And there are also thoughts that the things that Harry said angered King Charles and may have contributed to evicting the Sussexes from Frogmore Cottage. Camilla is now reportedly adamantly against reconciliation with Harry, and she sees Harry as a source of stress and drama that could negatively impact King Charles's health. And I 100% agree with this. When you're going through health crises, even if you're not going through health crisis and your age is up there, it's really important to be careful of your energy and who's around you. I don't think it's unjustified for King Charles to have asked the Sussexes to move out of Frogmore. I mean, they had said repeatedly they would not be going back. They don't feel safe when they're over there. So it was just an empty cottage. I don't see anything wrong with them doing that. And also, if that is their home and they're not contributing as senior working royals, then they should be paying rent on it or mortgage on it or whatever it is, right? Because one of and please correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the benefits of being a working royal is potentially being gifted one of these beautiful homes to live in, while you're in service. But please let me know if I'm wrong. Okay, now let's talk about Meghan, and I think this is going to be the meat and potatoes of what I'm going to talk about today. Like, I feel this is the take-home message from all of this, because everything that I've said so far, it's like gossip, and it doesn't necessarily apply to my daily life or your daily life. But what I'm going to describe now, the tactics that Meghan uses, the reasons why she uses them, these are things we may be seeing in people in our own lives. So in order for Meghan to have complete control over Harry, she has to isolate him. And she has to isolate him because, number one, she does not want him to be influenced by other people. And number two, it makes him really dependent on her. So when it does come time for him to leave, he is very reluctant to do so because there's no one around him. And this is exactly what's happening to him right now. He doesn't have a close circle of friends, I'm assuming. He's estranged from his family, so he doesn't even really have anyone to talk about the things that are happening in his relationship, which means that he's also not getting feedback from other people about how the behaviors he's experiencing from his wife, these are not healthy behaviors. And also, if he plans to leave, where is he gonna go? This was all strategic from Meghan's point of view. So what Meghan did really, in my opinion, and allegedly, I think she exacerbated this family rift. So I mean, anyone on the outside could guess that there could be conflict, right, between Prince William, Prince Harry, and Queen Camilla. It would be natural, right, because you know the history of the relationship between Princess Diana, Prince Charles at the time, and Camilla. So that's not hard to guess. And I also think that Harry, he would talk about the details of the things that happened in the relationship between him and Camilla. Meghan would use that to her advantage. And what I mean by that is she would purposely add fuel to the fire. She would egg him on. She would rile him up and work him up, in my opinion. And the goal of that is to exacerbate this family rift. And when he does, the thing that is so smart about this from Meghan's angle is that she's getting two birds with one stone, because if she causes Harry to have conflict with Camilla, that immediately puts King Charles in a difficult place. That immediately, regardless of which way, whose side, King Charles wants to take, it is going to cause conflict. It is going to cause at least some distance that's going to occur between Harry and his dad. And actually, that is probably one of the leading contributors of this family rift. So I think that Meghan tries really hard to control this narrative. She tries really hard to exacerbate and really air Harry's grievances and amplify his concerns, because by making him angry at all of these people, and unfortunately, I don't think Harry has very good impulse control, so he lashes out at them, and what ends up happening? He ends up having conflict with all of these people that could technically help him get out now if he needed the help, or if he needed support to talk about the ins and outs of his relationship. So I'm interested to know what you all think about this, if you're in agreement with all of this. Are any of you going to watch this documentary? I kind of want to watch it just to see exactly how biased it is and how some of this could have been, information that could have been leaked from Montecito, allegedly. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Please leave in comments. I'm really interested to know and what you all think about this, if you've experienced something like this, and I hope you haven't. I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye.